Good afternoon, guys. My name is Alena Shautsova. I'm an immigration attorney from New York. In today's video, we're going to analyze the most recent immigration news. I'm going to talk about new requirements for green card medical exam and who may be exempt from them. I'm going to talk about immigration reform progress. Of course, we're going to address also recent federal court decisions that affect immigration policy in the United States. And we're going to also talk about prosecutorial discretion and changes to it as a result of recent federal court's decisions. So first of all, thank you very much for joining me. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell button so you will stay updated with regard to the most recent immigration news. Let's start. Well, first of all, we're going to address the recent news about new COVID-19 vaccination requirement for those who are filing for adjustment of status or who are going to seek refugee status in the United States. As of October 1st, 2021, civil surgeons or doctors who are allowed to perform green card medical exam in the United States will have to also ask you for proof of full vaccination against COVID-19. It has to be full vaccinations and cannot be one dose of the vaccine. You will have to produce proof that both doses of the vaccine were received by you, and it has to be documentary proof. Your word or a test of your blood will not be enough. If you will not be able to produce such proof, civil surgeon will not be able to execute that medical exam form, and hence you will not be able to become a green card holder or receive a refugee status in the United States. However, if, for example, you're not filing for green card right now, you're seeking asylum in the United States, you will not have to submit medical exam, and hence you will not have to comply with this requirement. Also, if you're an applicant for U, T, or S visa status in the United States, you also do not have to produce medical exam or comply with this requirement. The same goes for those who will be able to receive what's called an exemption based on religious or moral grounds. But it will have to be very well documented. The doctor will not be able to grant you such an exemption. You will have to submit documents before USCIS, and USCIS will decide if you qualify for the exemption or not. Children under 12 years old currently do not have to comply with COVID-19 vaccination requirements, but do have to comply with other requirements. Don't forget. And same goes for people that will be applying for green cards in the areas where COVID-19 vaccinations are not available, where vaccines are not available, which to my knowledge in the United States, such areas do not exist, but there is such a carve-out in the CDC regulations. Other than that, if you would like to get a green card in the United States, after October 1st, 2021, you have to comply and produce proof of the vaccination requirement. Now, this situation may change, and perhaps down the road, this particular requirement of this particular vaccine will not be mandatory. But right now, I do not anticipate that this change will take place within the next 6 to 12 months. This is just something to take into consideration if you're going to be filing for your green card, or you will be filing your exam, medical exam, submitting your medical exam to USCIS shortly. An interesting fact: applicants for cancellation of removal, basically the same green card that applicants for adjustment of status are filing for, do not have to comply with the medical exam rules, and hence will not have to produce proof that they were fully vaccinated. Now let's talk about Biden versus courts. You probably saw in the media there is a lot of discussion about how unfair courts are towards Biden administration when they ruled that Remain in Mexico policy should be reinstated. This was a policy that Trump's administration came up with in hopes of limiting the amount of people who are coming physically to the United States seeking asylum. Under that policy, an applicant for asylum would have to stay in Mexico if they're coming from the southern border, while their case is being heard in United States immigration courts or by immigration judges, and if and only if a person would win their case, then they will be allowed to come and live in the United States. Biden administration wanted to change that and they revoked that policy. However, the court said too soon, you cannot do that. And of course, we immigrants do not like this decision, or we believe that in this particular situation, that Biden's administration hopes of reforming asylum system should have been allowed. But guys, remember, the same happened to Trump when, for example, he decided to proclaim that certain people cannot come to the United States. Trump was stopped by courts in the United States. So even though we don't like this particular ruling, we do like that there is a power that may stop someone in the United States when it seems they're overstepping their authority. And of course, we always can ask and put a little bit of pressure on our elected officials, people who represent us in the Senate and House of Representatives, to pass a law that will change the situation, because a law that is constitutional will have to be followed by everybody. Going back to courts, I wanted to talk to you about prosecutorial discretion. As you may be aware, on August 19th, a Texas judge ruled that ICE should not be exercising prosecutorial discretion that Biden administration came up with. Couple days after that, prosecutors and immigration courts stated they will abstain from exercising prosecutorial discretion under the memo that was issued to prosecutors in May of 2021 about prosecutorial discretion. And then we all did not know what's going to happen next. Will it mean that now prosecutors are no longer be able to agree to, for example, join motion to reopen or agree to administratively close the case or terminate the case? At the same time, the courts stopped the August 19th decision, giving the government until August 30th to appeal it. But still the situation is unclear. What's going to happen after August 30th? Will the prosecutor in your removal case will be able to talk with your lawyer and agree on some points for your case or not? And guess what? It seems that they will. We received updates from the main prosecutor that stated that prosecutors will continue basically to exercise their discretion, even though some local officers may choose not to do that. But lawyers are still encouraged to submit the prosecutorial discretion requests. Why? Because prosecutors always had the authority to exercise that discretion. It cannot be taken away from them because, simply speaking, they were born with it. Hence, prosecutors are, for example, in my practice, what I see are still exercising prosecutorial discretion. We just received a positive reply to our request to join a motion to reopen one of our most difficult cases. In another case, the prosecutor agreed to terminate the proceedings so the person can adjust status before USCIS. Hence, we still are hoping that prosecutorial discretion by the prosecutors in immigration courts will remain and they will continue exercising it. And since we are talking about courts, let's talk a little bit about the recent class action from California that affects those who were filing for special immigrant juvenile status. A couple of years ago, DHS decided that some family court's orders from California were not corresponding to their policy, and hence many applicants were denied status. However, now that was reversed, and if you received an order from a family court in California, tried to use it, and didn't succeed, you may be able to reopen your case, even if you were removed. And we're talking about special immigrant juvenile cases and orders from family courts that were issued prior to October 15, 2019. But I would say this, because the class action notice is kind of complicated. In any case of special immigrant juvenile applicant from California, if you were denied, if your case got stuck, even if you were removed outside of the United States because of some legal barriers, as DHS mentioned them in the denial, you should check with a lawyer now to see if you can reopen your case, you can reapply, or you maybe apply for the first time if you never finish the process, and perhaps you will have a chance to win your case now. Very important. And finally, let's talk about immigration reform. Where do we stand? You may have heard that the Senate passed the budget reconciliation resolution, and now the House passed the budget reconciliation resolution, but we still do not have the text of the law as to who specifically will be able to benefit from the immigration reform if it will go through. We only know approximately groups of people: dreamers, farm workers, essential workers, perhaps TPS holders. But who exactly and what exactly the qualifications will be for these groups to benefit from immigration reforms, we still do not know. We do not know what the definition, a final definition of a dreamer is going to be, and what a final definition of essential worker is going to be. I just wanted you to know this information because I know that there is a lot of confusion online. We can sometimes see questions. People ask, will a truck driver be regarded as an essential worker? Or will someone who works in the construction will be regarded as an essential worker? The answer is maybe. There was a proposal about essential worker citizenship where someone actually drafted a very good list of who may qualify as essential workers, but it doesn't mean that that particular proposal is going to be adopted by this particular proposal. Just keep it in mind. But I remain hopeful, and I hope that the drafters of this particular immigration reform will include as many people as possible, because guys, it's time for it. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, and stay on top of your immigration case, and follow me for more immigration news.